Most people do the same few bodyweight exercises over and over again, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it can make your workouts feel stale and leave serious gains on the table. So today I'm going to share 5 bodyweight exercises that you've probably never heard of. They aren't gimmicky tricks either. These are time-tested movements with scientific support that I personally do every week, and I think you should too. We'll start with one that's fairly uncommon, and then as we go, they'll get more and more obscure. I'd say maybe 25% of you have done exercise 1 at some point, but I'd bet less than 1% of you have ever even seen exercise 5. I think they're all worth doing. Okay, the first exercise is a simple way to bulletproof your knees, grow your quads, increase knee stability, and eliminate knee pain for good. It's the reverse Nordic curl. And if you've never tried this movement before, you need to next time you work out. This exercise completely transformed my knees. I used to have constant aching and clicking going downstairs, but after doing these consistently for a few months, all of that disappeared. Now, for some context, most people do regular squats and lunges for leg training, but those movements don't specifically strengthen your knees through a lengthened position. The reverse Nordic curl does exactly that. It strengthens your quads eccentrically while your knees are in deep flexion, which builds bulletproof tendons and protects your joints. Reverse Nordic curls can eliminate knee pain by strengthening the exact muscles and connective tissues that support your knee joint. And if your knees feel unstable or you get pain climbing stairs or squatting, you'll get massive relief from doing these. The scientific evidence is clear. Training your quads through their full range of motion with control actually makes your knees stronger and more resilient, not more prone to injury like some people fear. First, find a soft surface like a mat or carpet to kneel on. Get into a tall kneeling position with your knees hip-width apart and your body forming a straight line from your knees to your head. Engage your core tight. Now slowly lean backward while keeping your body in that straight line. Your knees stay planted and act as the hinge point. Lower yourself back as far as you can control. Then use your quads to pull yourself back up to the starting position. This will feel incredibly difficult at first, especially if you have weak quads. Most people can only lean back a few inches when they first try it. That's completely normal. Start by placing your hands behind you to catch yourself when you can no longer control the descent. Lightly push off the ground to help yourself back up. Over time, reduce how much you use your hands until you can control the entire movement with just your quads. Try it out and see how far you can lean back. If you can't go very far at all yet, that's fine. Just work on improving your range gradually. I usually do these for 5 to 8 reps for 3 sets. And while I don't think this movement will suddenly make you squat 500 pounds, I do think it fills a crucial gap in knee strengthening that most exercises completely miss. Now, if you prefer regular squats, they'll still work great for building leg strength. But add reverse Nordic curls if you want bulletproof knees that never hurt. Next exercise takes hip mobility to a whole new level and fixes imbalances that almost nobody even knows they have. I call it the hip airplane, and it's one of the best movements for hip health and preventing lower back pain. Here's the idea. Your hips are designed to rotate internally and externally, but most people have completely lost that ability from sitting all day. This creates compensation patterns that lead to knee pain, hip pain, and lower back problems. With the hip airplane, you're training both internal and external hip rotation while standing on one leg. This builds stability, mobility, and strength all at the same time. One of the reasons I love it is because most hip exercises only work in one plane of motion, but the hip airplane works rotation, which is what most people desperately need. Here's what you do. Stand on one leg with your knee slightly bent. Hinge forward at your hips and extend your other leg straight behind you, parallel to the ground. Your body should form a T shape. Now here's where it gets interesting. Keeping your hips square and your standing leg stable, rotate your torso and lifted leg together. Open your hips up by rotating your lifted leg and torso toward the ceiling. Then rotate back down and past center toward the floor. For technique, think about your pelvis rotating around your standing leg like an airplane propeller. That's where the name comes from. Your standing leg stays completely still while everything else rotates smoothly. Do 5 to 8 rotations on each leg, moving slowly and with control. Don't rush this one. The goal is smooth, controlled rotation while maintaining your balance. I usually do these as part of my warm-up or on lower body days, and honestly, I do them almost every day now. And while I don't think this movement will put massive size on your legs, I do think if you're completely missing rotational hip work in your training, you're leaving massive gains in mobility and injury prevention on the table, so give them a shot. I think you'll feel muscles in your hips that you didn't even know existed. Okay, this next exercise I've been doing consistently, and I absolutely love it for leg strength and hip mobility. It takes a standard squat pattern and adds a side-to-side component that most people never train. It's the Cossack squat. Now, I've talked about hip mobility before, but here's the key point. Your hips need to move in all directions, not just up and down. The Cossack squat forces you to shift your weight from side to side while maintaining a deep squat position on one leg. That's where the magic happens. Because you're loading one leg at a time in a deep position while the other leg stretches, you're building strength and flexibility simultaneously. New research shows that training through full ranges of motion while loaded can improve mobility faster than passive stretching alone. But I still think you should start light and focus on control before trying to go deep. Set up by standing with your feet much wider than shoulder width, about twice as wide as normal. Your toes should point slightly outward. Now shift your weight to one leg and sit back into a deep squat on that side. Your squatting leg should bend deeply, while your other leg stays straight with your toes pointing up toward the ceiling. Go as low as you can while keeping your heel flat on the squatting side. Once you hit the bottom position, push through your heel to return to the center standing position. Then immediately shift to the other side and squat down on that leg. That's one full rep. Alternate back and forth smoothly, spending a second or two in the bottom position on each side to really feel the stretch and work the strength. The Cossack squat is incredible for building single leg strength while improving your hip and ankle mobility. Most people have terrible side-to-side hip mobility, and this exercise fixes that fast. I've been doing these twice a week, going for 8 to 10 reps per side for 3 sets. Fair warning, your inner thighs and adductors will be sore the first time you try these. That's because most exercises completely neglect those muscles, and now you're finally working them properly. Okay, now we're getting a little bit more obscure, so I don't think I've seen many people do this one outside of serious mobility practitioners. It's frog pulses, and they're amazing for hip flexibility and glute activation. First, I should explain why I like them so much. It's really because this is one of the only ways to improve hip internal rotation and adductor flexibility while actively engaging your glutes at the same time. When you just passively stretch your hips, you might get some temporary flexibility, but it doesn't stick because you're not building strength in that new range of motion. Frog pulses solve that problem by combining the stretch with active muscle engagement. That's what makes them so effective for long-term mobility improvements. The technique is pretty simple too. Get on your hands and knees in a quadruped position. Now spread your knees out wide to the sides while keeping your ankles in line with your knees. Your feet should be turned out with the inside edges flat on the ground. From this wide position, push your hips back toward your heels as far as you can. You should feel a deep stretch in your inner thighs and hips. Now here's the key. Instead of just holding that stretch, you're going to pulse. Push your hips back a few inches deeper, then return forward a few inches. These small pulsing movements keep your muscles actively engaged while working through the stretch. Do 15 to 20 pulses, feeling your hips opening up more with each rep. Obviously, you need to be careful with this one if you have knee issues, but for most people, it's completely safe. Now, if you don't have the mobility to get into the wide frog position yet, you can start with your knees closer together and gradually widen them over weeks of practice. And if you only want to do static holds, that works too, but the pulsing action is what really builds active flexibility. It's not that I think frog pulses are going to suddenly give you full splits, but I do think if you're completely missing loaded hip mobility work in your training, you're probably leaving significant flexibility and injury prevention on the table. So try these out. Let me know what you think after a few weeks of practice. Now, before I show you the 5th and final exercise, let me address something important. If you're dealing with chronic aches and pains, stiff joints, or you feel like your body just doesn't move the way it used to, you're not alone. Most people think they're stuck with these problems forever. But what if there was a simple, step-by-step system that could help you move pain-free again? I created Reboot Your Body specifically for people struggling with these exact issues. It's a 30-day program designed to restore the movement and strength you've lost, so you can play with your kids or grandkids, get through your day without constant aching, and feel confident in your body again. Imagine waking up without that stiff back, bending down to pick things up without fear, and moving through life the way you're supposed to. The link is in the description below if you want to check it out. This last exercise is something almost nobody does, but it's one of the best movements for hamstring flexibility and posterior chain strength. The pancake good morning. This is a classic movement in gymnastics and martial arts training, and it was actually a staple for building extreme hamstring and hip flexibility. It'll work your hamstrings, glutes, and lower back, but in a completely different way than deadlifts or regular good mornings. Your entire posterior chain has to work to control the movement while your hamstrings get stretched in a position most people never train. Actually, the first time I did these properly, my hamstrings were so sore I could barely touch my toes for 3 days. So don't say I didn't warn you. On top of that, your hip flexors have to work to keep your legs in position, and your core stabilizes everything, so it really is a full body movement. For the technique, sit on the ground with your legs spread as wide as you comfortably can in a straddle position. Both legs should be straight with your toes pointing up toward the ceiling. Now here's where it gets challenging. Keeping your back as straight as possible, hinge forward at your hips and reach your hands out in front of you toward the ground. Go as far as you can while maintaining a neutral spine. The goal is to eventually get your chest and belly flat on the ground between your legs, hence the name Pancake. But that takes months or even years of practice for most people. Don't worry about how far you can go initially, just focus on the hip hinge with a straight back. Hold the bottom position for 3 to 5 seconds, feeling the deep stretch through your hamstrings and inner thighs. Then engage your glutes and hamstrings to pull yourself back up to the starting position. I've been doing these more than regular toe touches lately because the pancake position stretches your hamstrings in a way that transfers better to real-world movements like squatting and picking things up. The wide leg position also works your adductors and hip flexibility at the same time. Fair warning, this one is a lot harder than it looks if you have tight hamstrings. So if you're new to it, I'd start by just sitting in the wide leg position and hinging forward a little bit. Even just a few inches of forward lean will create a significant stretch. Once you can hinge forward about 45 degrees with good form, start adding the good morning component where you actively use your posterior chain to pull yourself back up. This builds strength in your hamstrings at long muscle lengths, which research shows is one of the best ways to prevent hamstring injuries. But honestly, when it comes to flexibility, the most important thing is consistency. You need to practice these movements regularly, at least 3 to 4 times per week to see real improvements. Okay, this wraps up the 5 most underrated bodyweight exercises that can completely transform your mobility and strength. Let me give you a simple way to program these into your training. You don't need to do all 5 in one workout. That would take forever and probably be too much volume. Instead, spread them throughout your weekly routine. Add reverse Nordic curls to your leg day after your main squats or leg work. Do 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps. These will build serious knee strength and resilience over time. Include hip airplanes in your warm-up before lower body training or as a standalone mobility session. Just 2 sets of 5 to 8 rotations per leg makes a massive difference in hip health. Do Cossack squats on your leg days or as part of a mobility-focused session. 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps per side. These will dramatically improve your hip and ankle mobility while building single leg strength. Add frog pulses at the end of any workout or during a dedicated mobility session. 3 sets of 15 to 20 pulses. Within a month, your hip flexibility will noticeably improve. Finally, do pancake good mornings 2 to 3 times per week, either as part of your warm-up or as a cool-down stretch. 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps, focusing on progressive improvement in your range of motion over weeks and months. These aren't exercises you master in a week. They're lifelong practices that continue challenging you and improving your body for years. That's what makes them so valuable. Unlike basic exercises that you quickly plateau on, these movements have endless progressions and variations to keep you improving. So try them out for yourself and let me know what you think. Add them to your training rotation, be consistent with them, and watch how much better your body moves and feels. These 5 bodyweight exercises might just be the missing pieces your training has desperately needed all along.